I've been playing professionally for 5 years, since 2013, and my position on the team is team captain.
I'm Flitch. I'm from Colombia. I have been playing CROSSFIRE like 8 years ago. In the team, I have the role to manage my team, and I'm attacker too.
Hi. Oi, meu nome é Daniel, eu jogo profissional há 2 anos, sou suporte da Black Dragons e estou representando o Brasil.
How I started playing back in 2013 professionally was pretty funny, because I was playing with a group of my friends at first, and we were just playing in the Pro League, and we weren't expecting to win, we were just having fun. And I was just dominating everybody. So the #1 team back then was Carbon, actually, and they were just looking at me and they were like, wow, this guy has, you know, the best, I don't know, statistics in the Pro League, and we're looking for one. We want to make sure that we secure the CROSSFIRE Stars spot for that year, the #1 place in North America for CROSSFIRE Stars. And so they picked me up in order to secure that.
I knew about this game in 2012 because all my friends played that. So also I want to play that, and that's my favorite game since 8 years ago. At the beginning, this game was a hobby, but later I want to be a professional. That's why you have to be dedicated and disciplined and love for play this game, and meet a lot of people who is good in the game, because I learn a lot of things about other people too.
A coisa mais louca que eu fiz foi quando, há 2 anos atrás, eu decidi sair do quartel, que era uma vida que eu podia seguir carreira militar, e era uma certeza na minha vida para poder me dedicar ao CROSSFIRE. Eu servi ao Exército Brasileiro, aí eu saí do Exército para jogar CROSSFIRE profissional. No Brasil a gente tem um campeonato que se chama Liga de Acesso. Quando você vence, você se torna um profissional, começa a jogar com os times mais fortes. E no final de 2016 eu joguei esse campeonato junto com o Viana, atual capitão da Black Dragons, e a gente conseguiu vencer, e foi aí que eu comecei minha jornada como profissional.
At the beginning, when I started to play, my mom was disagreed because I played CROSSFIRE. But later, when I started to travel, to win, to increase my popularity in this game, she's agreed now. Yes, and she's very happy because I play CROSSFIRE.
Foi uma decisão muito difícil, porque na época eu fazia faculdade e eu pagava a faculdade com dinheiro do Exército. Então meio que foi um choque para eles, mas eu tinha confiança em mim mesmo, que tudo ia dar certo, e eu batalhei pelo meu sonho, e graças a Deus, desde então eu tenho conseguido bons frutos dessa decisão.
So even back when I dropped out of college in 2013, my mother, because I only have my father's out of the picture, so my mother, she was still supportive of me, but she wasn't too happy that I did that, you know, but she was still supportive. She said, you know, you go do what you want to do, and if it doesn't work out, you come back and you go to college. So I would say 2 things that CROSSFIRE has really done for me that I appreciate. #1 is it's satisfied my competitive spirit, where I've always enjoyed just competing and trying to be the best in something, and CROSSFIRE has done that for me, and I love it. And the #2 thing is I've always loved to perform for people and you know, impress people and gain fans and things like this, just be popular. It's always something that makes me happy, and so I love all my fans.
The most important skills in the game are communication, good accuracy, work team. That's it. If my team have it, we can win all this time.
Eu acho que o CROSSFIRE me deu muita coisa, porque eu fiz 21 anos já e eu não esperava que eu pudesse viver tanta coisa que o CROSSFIRE me trouxe. Como, por exemplo, conhecer a China, morar na China, conhecer outros países do mundo e conhecer pessoas novas também. Então, acho que eu sou muito grato a Deus por ter conhecido o CROSSFIRE e por estar onde eu estou hoje.
I'm very thankful with this game because it gave me the opportunity to know new friends, to meet new places, and completely changed my life. Thank you for.
Eu queria agradecer ao jogo por tudo que me proporcionou e dizer parabéns. Apesar do jogo estar há muito tempo, o jogo sempre foi muito bom e eu espero sempre que continue melhorando.
Thank you for providing me the opportunity to go on all these trips. I love coming to China, and I love playing at these tournaments, and it's just it means the world to me. And also thank you to CROSSFIRE for providing so much fun for me and my friends. There's so many things for us to do. We have late nights, laughing, you know, eating good food, drinking, playing some CROSSFIRE. It's been great. Thank you, CROSSFIRE.
Hello and welcome back. We are live from Taichung in China. It's day number 2 here at CFS 2018. Joanne, we are into our elimination games for the rest of today. All of these matches are crucial for all of the teams still competing. We've eliminated one team. We've sent 4 teams through to tomorrow's quarterfinals, but for the rest of today, Kyle, the pressure is on.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's going to be do or die for a lot of these teams today, with a lot on the line, and especially trying to secure themselves not only through some of these loser stages, but some of these teams have multiple games they have to make to keep it alive today.
Yeah, that's right. All of the games, all the next 2 games are lower bracket round 1, which means they've lost their first matchup yesterday and now need to win their next 2 matches to make it out of their group as the 2nd seed and still have a shot here at CFS 2018, a shot at the $500,000 first prize, Blue, which is an incredible amount of money.
Absolutely, definitely. And for some of these players, it's going to be life-changing money as well, life-defining money. They'll be good after that. Basically.
Easy.
So there's a lot on the line, and obviously they're going to want to fight to the bitter end to be able to claim some of that.
Certainly will. Ava team up against Black Dragons. The team from Vietnam up against the team from Brazil is our next matchup. Both of these teams, Kyle, didn't have the start at CFS 2018 that perhaps they would have liked.
No, and I think both teams were sort of favored to win their first matches too. They looked like the stronger team sort of on paper, but both of them had a lot of simple mistakes that stacked up, and they both ended up falling pretty handedly. They weren't necessarily even super close of matches for them both to fall in. So I think really it's about who's going to show the best sort of recovery from that first match loss as we go into this one. But for me, looking at them right now, I'd say Black Dragons is the team I look to make that happen.
Yeah, Black Dragons definitely had a difficult first match. 10-5 up against All Gamers, one of the best teams in the world.
Yeah.
We had sort of theorized that maybe of all the teams, Black Dragons were the team that had the best shot up against a team from China. But at the end of the day, all Gamers were just too strong. And I think this is the nature of obviously a double elimination competition. If you do go up against the top team to start things off, you've got another chance. And I think that it was a tough one to go up against All Gamers to kick things off.
Yeah, especially when you look at the fact that, in my opinion at least, All Gamers has looked like the best team that we've seen so far in the group stages. Definitely the most consistent team, that's for sure. So they had a tough ask considering that in the past. They came into this one as like the expected team to be able to take down some of the Chinese squads though. So considering that they lost at 10-5, which I think is like our third, least definitive scoreline that we've had in the entire tournament, that still doesn't look good for them at the end of the day. So I'm going to hope that that's just because All Gamers was such a strong opponent. But we'll have to see going into this matchup.
On the other side of things, Kyle, Ava Team went up against Execration, the team from the Philippines. And that was a game that I definitely thought Ava Team was going to win. And their score there, I don't think that was that great either, was it? That was a 10-5. That wasn't a very good score. Certainly, even if Ava Team were going to lose, they should have lost 10-8, 10-7 at worst.
Yeah, when you look at who they played, Ava Team definitely should have had a better time against their matchup. I mean, losing to AG is one thing, but if you're Ava Team coming in as the former runner-up, that's really not a match where you should expect to even have a close loss, let alone a 10-5. So, I mean, it's really not a good situation for Ava Team, and they need to recover quite a bit, I think, going into this match.
Yeah, a lot to look toward, a lot to work from, I suppose. And we'll have to see how they come out here today. They've had a bit of time now. I think their game yesterday was a little bit earlier in the morning. Today, about midday. It's a good time to come in and play some CROSSFIRE, that's for sure. There's no better opportunity. Nice and awake. You've had a bit of a warm-up. You've had your coffee or your tea or whatever it may be.
Go swim in the pool at the hotel?
Yeah, there's lots to do. And it's perfect time to play some esports, that's for sure. Coming into this, though, as we take a look at this Black Dragons lineup, look, seeing the results from yesterday, seeing how these two teams played, and seeing who they went up against as their first game, I can't help but feel that perhaps Black Dragons has a bit of a better shot here. Talk us through this lineup. Who are we looking to see come out on top for them if they are going to come out and win?
Honestly, after seeing yesterday, I thought from the start Danimal would be who I looked to, but I actually have a lot of hope in Natsen after their first game. I think he was the one who stepped up and made a lot of key plays for them. And I think even though he may have not necessarily been the best performer overall, I think he's one of the anchors of this Black Dragons lineup and making sure things get done. Him along with Vienna are the ones I would look to make impact, especially with the map being Port. I think it's a strong map for both of those players as individuals, and I think this map definitely favors Black Dragons. And as we've seen in the past, just with our most recent match, the Vietnamese teams do have a little bit of historical struggle on the map of Port.
Okay, fair enough. That's definitely something interesting taking through. And when we talk about Danimals, he had a very average day yesterday, so I think like 5 and 13 or something.
That's exactly it.
Which is probably not what you expect, particularly when we've got Kyle here, our expert, coming through and saying he was the one to look out for. So I think Danimal's probably looking to come out today and maybe show that yesterday was just a one-off.
Yeah, hopefully that'll be the case. It was this guy actually that's on screen now, ADRF, that was another player that was stepping up pretty well for the team yesterday, and I think he actually tied, it's top frag for the team in that matchup. Granted though, he's a little bit more inconsistent, only showing up every couple of rounds, so I don't think they're going to be able to rely on that in this matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. It's sort of thing where if Danimals turns up, then all of a sudden they're on fire, hopefully for their sake. Their opponents, Ava Team from Vietnam, most of them looking pretty confident there, maybe on the end. Kugon just looking a little bit stressed, biting his nails. We'll see how this plays out for them. What are your thoughts of them yesterday? It definitely wasn't an impressive performance. Was there anyone from Ava Team who you think maybe needs to step up today because they did not in day one?
I think it came more down to just team play for Ava team. They didn't seem cohesive at all. A lot of their strats, they were trying to rely on just taking early aim duels that they weren't winning. And I think for Ava team to have the success that we saw from them last year, they have to have a lot more solid executions. They need to be rotating as a team and communicating a bit more thoroughly across the board. And I think that will ultimately lead them into a good position here. But the big thing for me is seeing this Ava team being one of the few rosters that hasn't made any changes from the previous year and still doing so poorly compared to last year so far.
And again, if we go through yesterday's stats, it actually was Kukon who was sitting on the end, who played or had the least impressive results out of Ava team yesterday. So perhaps that's why he's ready and feeling the pressure today, Blue.
Still relatively, even team besides that, though, in terms of the fragging potential coming out of the rest of the squad. So I don't think we're looking at a situation like we've had for Black Dragons, like we've had for a lot of our other matches where you were kind of relying on one or two people to pick up the fragging potential and pretty much all of your rounds and just kind of carry you through the match. That's not really an issue here for Eva. So I still think that as a team, as a whole, they're going to be a little bit of a stronger package coming into this matchup. Yeah,
definitely for me, this game is a game of redemption for both of these teams. Both of them looking, of course, expecting to make their way out of groups. And ironically, I don't think either of these teams would have expected to be necessarily down here in lower bracket round one. Maybe you lose your upper bracket final and you have to play out just that one game against hopefully someone a little bit easier. But again, to see one of these two teams be the first team out from Group C would be a little bit disappointing. But then again, it was the group of death, right, Kyle?
Right, and for Ava team, this is actually how their last year run started as well. They lost their first match, but then they didn't lose again until the grand finals. So, I mean, this is really a good situation for them to be in. Because, I mean, this is where they're used to being. They don't mind fighting down from behind, but now they're just in that risky territory. If a few things go against them, they could already be out as well.
So, if we go through this and we put what we've learned across the last 12 months and across the last 24 hours, I'm going to give Blue a bit of I'm going to push him to second this time. I'm going to be a nice guy and go straight to Kyle.
I'm offended.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Look, we keep asking you first. I feel like
this.
I'm giving you a chance just to copy from our expert, Kyle. Who's going to win this game?
I'm actually going to say Ava team.
Wow.
At first, I was thinking Black Dragons was going to take it, but after reflecting on some of the matches from Ava team last year and seeing how they performed when their backs against the wall, I think they could be the team to do this here. I think it's still going to be close regardless, but after seeing a lot of the flaws come out from Black Dragon's performance, I think Ava team could still take this one away.
All right, what's the score going to be if Ava team pick this up?
I would say 10-8 in favor of Ava team. I think it's still going to be incredibly close and even maybe a game that goes into an overtime situation, but I think Ava team, they're going to want it more in this situation. They know what it's like to be in that grand finals, and surely not a team that wants to go out without a win here.
And I guess the thing that both these teams do have going for them is if they win this game, they are going head-to-head with Execration, a good team, but not the best team in the world. It is definitely doable that either of these teams could take down the Filipinos in a best of one. So it's very important that they pick this up, and if they do, they definitely still have a shot of making it out of groups. Blue, who's your pick going to be?
Personally, I'm going to swing with Black Dragons this one. I think they have a lot of very strong individual performers, and I feel like that's going to shine through. But much like our last matchup and much like a lot of the matchups that we have coming up today, I think it's going to be really down to the wire, incredibly close, and it could swing either direction.
Are you saying it's a 10-8 then to Black Dragons? 10-7 overtime?
Let's say 10-7. Yeah, 10-7 to Black Dragons.
10-7. Yeah. All right, I'm going to put Blue down. 10-7 to Black Dragons. I'm going out on a limb and saying this is going to go to overtime. I think Ava team will win, but it's going to be quite reminiscent of the game we just watched, where it goes down to the wire, we get to 9-9, and it comes into overtime. And the team from Vietnam, the team who last year showed us that even though they had a bad start, they were able to bring it back, is the one to take it through. It's our lower bracket round one for Group C. Ava team up against Black Dragons. The winner progresses through to the lower bracket final up against Execration. The loser is out. Let's get into the game.
Well, it is time for another lower bracket match, and that means, unfortunately, it is time to send another team home. The loser of this matchup will be our second to get knocked out. Will it be Eva team or will it be Black Dragons? Let's find out as we're going live with the first round now. Black Dragons starting out on the defensive side, and Eva team will be on attack for Blacklist.
And right now, Ava team, I think this is going to be their more preferred side as well. So definitely a positive situation for them to start off on. I know in the past they have struggled a bit on their defense on this map. So Definitely a more comfortable situation for them to be on the attack, I'm sure. Black Dragons, though, a team that has a very solid defense on most maps, so they're going to have to be careful about how they attack this one. Black Dragons normally playing this 2-on-2 setup and just hoping that these players push in, unexpecting of these positions, and I like how Black Dragons is playing this one from the start, putting all of the pressure onto Ava Team to really make their move here. Will, though, almost runs into trouble there. Rambo, sorry. Got my NA brain there, thinking of some NA players, but Rambo peeks out mid, going through, but not going to connect on the shot. ADRF, though, almost taken down from the box spam. Maxim getting some nice shots off there, but not quite enough to get the job done just yet.
And we see Maxim having to fall back after an unsuccessful attempt at a push. The rest of the team is going to be grouping up for a little bit more of a play. Solidified play, I should say, over towards that B site. They've got most of their players stacked over towards the connector and leading into mid a little bit as well at the moment. So probably going to try to push themselves in through the house, but there's going to be a lot of congestion here for the Black Dragon side of things. They'll swing up actually way through mid instead, but they are going to get the first kill. Eva Team is going to be able to move in, knocking out Will early on, bringing this into a 4v4 now as the trades actually roll in for the Black Dragons. 3 kills, in fact, come out from them before we see another one claimed by Bean on the side of Eva Team. They're bringing it down to only 3 players left standing here on Black Dragons.
They will get the bomb down, though. Even at a man disadvantage, they still have a solid chance at winning this. Bean gets spotted on the cross. Can't sneak into that corner quickly enough to hide there and wait for the push out from the B barn. And right now, it's going to be Black Dragons still in a tight spot for the retake. Have to push out together. So far, though, it is going to be Ava Team holding it nicely, but Notson answers back with a double kill. And Black Dragons pull through for the retake and take the opening round 1-0. And you can see them shouting aggressively, trying to intimidate Ava Team right from the start here.
You can hear them as well. They're going to be jumping into this one. There's that Brazilian passion that we've seen in the past matchups. We already saw it in our other game versus INTZ when they were almost able to upset in a great match against Super Valiant Gaming. They just barely fell at the end of it, and they now sit in the lower bracket too. So both teams for Brazil fighting for survival now. Obviously, INTZ's made it a little bit further than the Black Dragons, but they're looking to get to the same exact position by taking down Ava Team and knocking out the first Vietnamese team.
Right now, Black Dragons, they're going to be playing pretty reserved once again. This time only having 1 player, though, on that B bomb side. It's going to be Notson playing alone. Rightfully so, though. Had a solid hold over there in the first round, grabbing 3 frags for himself. So right now, Black Dragons going to rely on him to make sure that B site doesn't go out of their control. But they've read the situation quite well. Ava Team seems to be favoring mid and A control for the late portion of the round. So Black Dragons, they've got the setup perfectly to counter that. 2 in the back of mid and 2 forward, holding for the A push. So right now, Black Dragons, they're just waiting for Ava Team to run right into this trap. Meanwhile, Ava Team, though, trying to fill out the map here and potentially get a pick from either of these zones, mid and B. They both have an individual trying to poke out in, but so far, no luck as Will picks up the first. Rambo goes down, and it's already a 5-on-4 here, looking good for Black Dragons once again.
Got the rest of Black Dragons is remaining very passive right now, as you mentioned in the first round, letting Eva Team make the first move in this situation. They're going to move towards the house. Looks like a majority of their players are going to be hanging out there, but they still also have botcons hiding out inside of the A connector, waiting to cut off anyone from Black Dragons that might try to go for an early rotate. They'll have to abandon that, though. Routing back through mid and grouping up with the rest of the team as they're moving into the B site, or at least trying to get themselves out towards it. Black Dragons, so that push is going to be coming in at any moment. The time's starting to get a little bit low here, but again, no execution, no follow-through coming in from Ava Team right now. So Black Dragons will remain stable and ready to take on the challenge when Ava Team eventually have to push them through the house.
Still a nice 5v4 for the Black Dragons. 30 seconds, though, on the clock. Ava Team running this one down to the wire here, but they're going to try and force their way out of mid and onto B at the same time. We'll see if Black Dragons is ready for the response here. Kukon, though, finds one. Maxim takes down another. It's down to a 3v3, but they force their way through. Maxim finding another big headshot there and the plant. This is a big play coming out from him. And now Black Dragons have a difficult retake ahead of them. Danimal and ADRF left in a 2-on-3 to try and retake this bomb site. Only 30 seconds to grab all the kills in the defusal there. A little bit lost for words there for a moment, but right now Danimal goes down. It's ADRF left in a 1v3. Things looking positive here for Ava Team to tie it up right from the start. No presence there from ADRF as well. And there you have it. It's going to be a tie right from the start.
So a lot like some of our previous matches today. We said today was going to be filled with close matches, and we certainly didn't lie to you, that's for sure, as we're into another one now. A 1-1 scoreline right from the beginning, as Black Dragons are unable to secure a solid position here at the beginning of the game. But regardless, we could see them battle back into it. It's a very quick 1-for-1 exchange at mid. Botcons moves in to knock out Vienna, but the immediate trade is also found from Will. Be able to take down Botcons.
now Ava team looking for that second opening to try and work their way into an execution here, but right now, not a whole lot of luck in finding that second player just yet to take down. BotCon's already fallen for Ava team. Meanwhile, Vienna down for the Black Dragons here as they look to try and hold on to this one. Black Dragons, though, going to back up, trying not to get too overly aggressive here over towards that A bomb site area. Meanwhile, though, not a whole lot of mid presence coming out. It's just going to be Will playing passively on the backside of the bridge here for Black Dragons. So a potential opening here if Ava team find a way to exploit it. They do have a player sitting here in mid. It's going to be Rambo as the rest of his team works up the B tunnels to potentially hit this B bomb site. And right now, Black Dragons is really reliant on just these two players, Notson and Will, to hold off this B split. So they have to be careful and make sure that Will doesn't over-rotate on this push and give an opening here for Rambo to sneak through mid and potentially wrap behind them. Right now, though, their execution going to come through. Black Dragons playing it safe, throwing the counter flashes nicely to stall the push, making sure they have time to rotate if they need to, but still no full rotation coming through just yet. Danimal finally starting to work his way back into mid, though. Great rotation here to make sure the support comes through, and they do send Will over onto the B-bomb site as well. Black Dragons, though, going to be flashed back. Kukon trying to sneak out here back into the global risk spawn. Not going to happen, though. Will and ADRF shut things down. And so far, Black Dragons are holding this one off nicely. Bean and Maxim, though, trying to clean things up and turn this one back around, but they're running into some trouble here. Caught with an 8-out is going to be Bean going down, and it's just on Maxim here, and it's not going to happen. Once again, Notson steps it up here for his team and finds a round for Black Dragons.
And a decisive round at that from Black Dragons. 4 players still standing at the end of it. Certainly something that they're going to be proud of if they can continue to hold in such strong fashion. Ava team, in the meanwhile, throwing your heads to the wall towards the B site is not working out for that time, as we do end up seeing the Black Dragons take control of the second round due to the lack of really a variety of angles that we could have seen from Black Dragons. No mid control for them to try and work off of, to lurk their way through the spawn and then get better access towards B, only just forcing the issue through the house. And it does lead to a relatively quick defeat once Black Dragons lock in on them.
And now we see, once again, Black Dragons continuing strong with this very passive and reserved setup. And so far, it's been working decently well for them. They've got only 1 round against them. Ava team, though, struggling to find these early round openings to go their way. They really haven't had a whole lot of luck here just yet. But right now, they're putting a bit more attention over towards this A-bomb site this time around. It's going to be up to ADRF and Danimal to try and hold off the push if it does come through. They do have Will for the support close by in mid. He's already going to be prepping to hold the cross here from the mid-bridge, so they definitely sense that this A push is coming through. BotCon's applying pressure, but no success just yet. Black Dragons doing a good job of stalling things out. Will finds Kukon there. BotCon's going to run into trouble as well. He's taken down by ADRF. Bean down to low HP as well. Rambo and Bean, though, they do respond with a kill apiece, evening things to a 3-on-3. Right now, though, Black Dragons, they're trying to collapse in on these 2 players in mid, and Rambo and Bean are so low on HP that this should be Black Dragons still in a favorable position here. Notson takes down Rambo. Bean on minimal HP now as Maxim tries to figure out where to go next.
Being at 10 HP to play off of, and Maxim 90, so he's still going to be looking okay. The problem is he's really the only one that's going to be able to take engagements for Ava team for the rest of this round here. He's looking to move himself around over towards the A-bomb site. He's obviously had to wait for Bean to get into position too, as he's carrying the C4 from over towards mid, where they were playing at previously, but they don't have a whole lot of time to mess around here. They need to get to the site, and they need to get there quickly. Black Dragons are waiting for this kind of a push, but they had to center it. They had to play a little bit closer towards their bridge to make sure that in the event it went B, they would have been able to rotate quickly as well, which means they're playing off-site, leaving the option open for a C4 plan. Thankfully, it's not going to be too big of a deal if they let them get away with that.
We do see just 1 player from Black Dragons holding the B cross on the bridge. He's going to hold it off, though, but they let them take control. They're going to play for full retake here. Black Dragons just wanting to make sure they're able to trade here. Will sneaks out, shoots a little bullet at the dead body there. No big deal, though. Gives us his position up, but Ava team very low on HP for this retake situation. Have to hold patiently, but Bean, he's isolated here on the backside of the ladder. He's getting spammed through the box, but there's no connection yet from Will. Maxim finds 1, but it's not going to matter. Notson and Will clean things up once again, and they continue to lead the charge here for the Black Dragons.
Black Dragons really starting to shoot ahead here now. Constant retakes. They're not overplaying their hand in any of these rounds either. They're playing a very nice, very controlled defensive side on global risk. And because of that, as you can see, they've been able to dominate, picking up quite a few rounds in a row now against Ava team, who have flatlined. Struggling quite a bit here, losing so many players often early in the round, and then never having enough to actually get to a site.
Right now, Black Dragons doing a great job on their defensive half so far. Notson and Will leading that charge with 12 combined frags in the first 4. Definitely a huge feat for them to keep themselves on top. Still, a lot of time left in this best of one. It's only 3-1. Ava team with ample time to recover this one and make it a close one for themselves, potentially even a win here. And it's an important one. The loser of this will be the second team knocked out of CFS 2018 here, so a lot on the line for both of these teams who desperately want to make it into that quarterfinals and push themselves one step further here. But Will finds another one for Black Dragons, taking out Kukon early and continuing as a strong force here for the Black Dragons.
It's a nice catch early on to be able to take down Kukon, and once again gives Black Dragons that early edge as we've been seeing in some previous rounds. Will actually sneak past through mid here to get himself out of a dodgy position. Would have been closer to the B site. And Ava team, again, just no real position to play off of at this point. They've got some presence being established at mid, close to where Will just worked his way out of. But with the smoke being reapplied into the doorway, leading over towards the global risk spawn, they're not going to be able to push that anytime soon. The only other player they've got still left alive that's going to be lurking away from these positions and towards the site would be Maxim, but as you just saw there, he gets decked by Vienna. The second he peeks out of the house, no one else even daring to peek against Black Dragons at this point. And they've got all 5 players still at full HP pretty much.
Now Ava team once again backs against the wall. Rambo almost taken down there as well from Will in mid, who's been such a force to be reckoned with. Vienna finds himself another over towards the B bomb site, and things once again look pretty grim for the fate of Ava team in this round. Botcon's left alone. A 1 versus 5 situation. It's not going to go his way, though. Vienna just rushes him. No fear there. 3 kills for Vienna on the round, and Black Dragons, you can see the confidence here. Ava team definitely struggling once again in their second match.
And once again, just like I said before, not really overplaying anything, not trying to get too aggressive with plays in mid or trying to push them into the house or anything like that. They're keeping it nice and controlled. They're forcing Ava team to make the first move in all these rounds, and as a result of that, since Ava team just seem incapable of hitting any serious entries against Black Dragons, they shut them down on almost every single take attempt.
And this is definitely not the Ava team we saw in 2017. It may be the same 5 players, but they surely aren't stepping up in the way we've seen them in the past. Black Dragons, though, they didn't make it very far last year. Now, this is their chance to push themselves one step further, but right now, Ava team, they try to execute onto the B tunnels. So far, though, Black Dragons getting slightly better out of that situation, as Bean and Rambo are both very low on HP, and Will looks ready to go for the re-engage, but ADRF, look at him on the flank, can't be taken out easily, but still finally goes down to Botcons with the headshot. Very nicely done from Ava team, watching their back, but still 2 players very low on HP. Makes this a winnable one for Will and Vienna if they play their cards right here. Down to the 2v3, though, still, they haven't committed towards the site, but right now Will is eager to hold on to this B tunnels position.
Will's going to continue to hold back. Like I said before, Black Dragons never wanted to overplay their hand so far in the defensive setup, especially now that they're at a man disadvantage here. Ava team has to be getting frustrated because they're never being presented with any of these opportunities to do any real damage, and they know that because of the health disparity, they're not necessarily going to be in the greatest position to try and push out of this situation. They certainly wish that they were global risk right now. They would have left them in much better straits. As we see there, Vienna, though, finding the AWM shot. Evens out the scoreline, and Wilt with a shot is also going to be able to bring it down to a 1v1. As well, he'll find one. Rambo will be there to trade it right back. It's Rambo versus Vienna to decide the round. And unfortunately for Rambo, he does not have a lot of time left here. Vienna did just fire off some shots, though, which means that Rambo should relatively be aware of where that retake is going to come from. He's got the position just in mid, and he'll work his way into the house in a second. But here's the problem. Rambo is now ready for it. Does he have the HP to take the fight, though, since Vienna has swapped out from the AWM over to the AK. He only needs a few shots connected, but it's going to be Rambo that takes the fight in the open as we finally see another round picked up by Ava team.
And that's a big one for Rambo to win as well. Still a chance now for them to swing back and take this half into their control. And that's exactly what Ava team needed to try and kickstart some momentum for themselves. Black Dragons finally getting stalled out in a late round situation there. And now there is some hope alive for Ava team to win this one after all. Black Dragons, though, still going to be up 4-2 in this situation. Will and Knotson still topping the leaderboards here in this matchup. 8 frags apiece, still looking pretty solid here. Right now, Black Dragons, though, still committing to the patient setup here, not going for any overly aggressive plays here so far, and that's really been their strength here, not overcommitting, not over-peaking, and putting all of the pressure onto Ava team throughout. And it's definitely showed. The pressure for Ava team has been pretty far and few for them to actually get any sort of openings onto these bomb sites. The rounds they do win are still down to the wire here and just down to 1v1 and 1v2 situations where they happen to come out on top.
So it's going to continue to be a slow played affair for Black Dragons and Ava team, to be completely honest. As they'll continue to lurk around in through that B connector to try and work their way over towards the site, clearing out everything incredibly slowly along the way as they'll work their way into the warehouse now. The upper rafters approaching. Of course, use the utility to get themselves out onto the site. Really a whole lot of impact being found against the Black Dragons just yet, though, as they never really choose to contest from this point. They always seem to wait until Ava Team actually tries to move out for the site take.
Now Ava Team looking ready to strike here. Black Dragons still a bit unsure of the positioning here, but some nice counter flashes come out. That's going to stall this push for just a few more moments, but Notson, such a key player on this B-bomb side hold. They have to be careful about how they approach him in this back position here. He's going to sneak up onto the top of the shadow box here, waiting to peek out onto this bomb site. Very patient approach here. Notson again holds it, the triple kill going his way. It's already down to a 4v2. Kukon falls as well, and it's just on Rambo once again, but he finds the double in mid. Could he do this in the 1v4? Now Vienna already very low. Will, the only one with good HP left in this fight. Vienna, though, playing patiently in the back corner of pit here, hoping that Rambo doesn't check for this position. Will baits him out, but it's still going to be the shot from Rambo, but Will gets the trade and keeps it alive for Black Dragons. Almost around there for the 1v4 from Rambo, but again, the 1v1 is all that matters at the end of the day. So,
and ultimately, the health disparity being the main thing that allows it to go the way of Black Dragons there, since last man alive from Ava had already brought himself down to about half HP. Will had the re-peek as soon as his teammate goes down, had to bait him a little bit, but it ends up working out okay. As we still see Black Dragons closing out with a strong scoreline already established, as long as they don't let it go now. The potential to push past 5 and into a very, very dominant position for these last 2 rounds.
this time around, though, they are going to boost ADRF here in the A connector. A little bit of change of pace here just to have even more presence to know what's going on here for this mid-control play. And that's really been the choke point that Ava teams had their only big successes from, so I can see why they made this adjustment here to put ADRF up there to potentially shut down Maxim or Rambo, the two players who've been eager to push out of mid a lot of these rounds. This time, though, Botcons joins in mid as well to see what he can do in this situation. Will, though, a very impactful player here as well from the backside of mid, has 10 frags to his name in this match so far, and he hasn't gone down without at least one in pretty much every round he's faced so far on these mid pushes. So still a great presence across the board coming out here from the Black Dragons as they lead 5-2. Again, Ava team wanting to try and take control of the B-bomb site, though they've forced it time and time again. But they have to be able to take down Notson and Vienna on the quick rotations. Vienna, though, this time playing the nice corner position here, waiting to see if they fall into his crosshairs. Notson just baiting them in. Here comes the wide swing, but it's only going to be a one and done there from Vienna. Notson, though, this time going down without a fight, leaves an opening here for Ava team to try and work their way in. Rambo finds one in mid as well, and it's down to a 2-on-4. Will finds one. Danimal finds another, but it's still going to be down to the 1v2. Danimal left in a tight situation here, but he does have a nice HP advantage to work with. Full HP versus the half HP and very low HP on Kukon here as he works his way around for the retake. Bomb still not planted just yet, but Danimal, he's going to go for the full flank rotation here through the B tunnels and out through the B barn. Right now, Kukon and Bean, though, they need this round for Ava team to hold on and have a chance of bringing this one to be much closer before the half's all said and done. But Danimal, he's already eager to strike here onto this bomb site. Kukon, though, may have just spotted him through the barn window. He pushes his way out, though, already looking to try and clear pit here, but he's in a tough spot. He's going to be spotted, but it doesn't matter. Danimal finds the headshot. Bean, now the last hope alive for Ava team, but Danimal looking to win this 2v4, takes it for Black Dragons. That's a big 2v4 to go their way. Danimal saving the day here and keeping Black Dragons confidently on top.
And that's Danimal, I think, single-handedly pulling off the 1v4 in that situation as well. Beautiful stuff from him as Black Dragons, like we were saying before, you can see it, they're getting hyped now. They know they've got a definitive lead against Ava team. Only one round left in this half. If they can push 7-2, they're going to be in an amazing position to try and shut this down in the second half.
Once again, we see Black Dragons, the 2-1-2 standard setup working wonders, though, for them. Everyone on their team playing pretty well across the board, so really not a whole lot of need to change things up too severely. Notson, though, going to be playing on top of the window here outside a barn, waiting for someone to cross through. A position we haven't seen too often, but a nice one to potentially catch them off guard if they go for this B push once again, and that's been the key here on this B bomb site hold. They're always playing the same two players, but they have new positions that they're utilizing round after round to try and catch these guys off guard, and it's worked quite well for the Black Dragons as they adapt and make these changes very slightly each round, but still playing equally passive here. But we're already going to see some execution attempts here over towards the A bomb site. ADRF taking some damage there through the box, but not a whole lot to make him force out of this position just yet. Ava team, though, still struggling to find that opening as well on their execution attempt here.
Let's see Kukon finding himself just over here under the Global Risk Bridge. He's going to try to push himself forward. The problem is he ends up flashing himself out in this situation, but it won't seem to matter. Ava team rip through mid, and are going to be able to take a quick approach over towards the A site here. It's down to only 2 from the Black Dragons. 2 versus 5, and that doesn't seem to have stopped them in previous rounds. Notzin and Vienna looking to bring it back, and they found 1 kill. Obviously, Smoke standing in the way as they push themselves back in, but Vienna will fall. Does great damage to Botcons. However, it does not seem like it might be enough here. We just saw the 1v4 in the last round, but it might be asking too much to have 2 in a row, especially with already a lot of the time gone by on the C4 plant now. Notzin left alone. He'll be taken out by Bean. And finally, we'll see a 3rd round picked up by Ava Squad. We're going to go 6-3 at halftime in the favor of Black Dragons.
A little bit of a recovery there, though, at the end from Ava team. Could have been a much worse half considering how dominant Black Dragons was overall. I mean, Notzin definitely being one of the key players alongside Will in this opening half here, but it's still not over just yet. This map does tend to lean in favor of the defense, and a 6-3 half is definitely not enough for them to feel safe to try and close this one out just yet. Ava team, if they can have a confident start to the second half, it's still a game where anyone could walk away with the win here.
We'll find out about that in just a few minutes as our teams are getting themselves readied up now. Jumping into the second half in a few seconds here. The Black Dragons, losing that last round, will swing a little bit of the momentum back into the favor of Ava team, but overall a very, very messy half for them. Failing to find entries for a large portion of it. Only when we saw Black Dragons start to get aggressive, since they had that pretty massive lead, did we really begin to see Ava team also pick up rounds. And of course, as we got into the last few, they were able to pick up their own entries as they finally were able to figure out the key to success in terms of getting their players outside of the warehouse and onto the B site. Not a whole lot of play towards A, though, overall in that half, except for the final round that I think 1 or 2 additionals. It was definitely a very B-favored push, but it's going to be Vienna starting out with a bang. Moves in, immediately knocks down Rambo as they're going to just rush straight up towards A. And while it started off well, it's been turned around here. Will, though, with another pick up, a double kill, in fact, from him. Puts it down to a 2v1, Bean to the 1v1, but Will comes out on top as it's Black Dragons that take control of the opening round of the half, pushing them up to 7.
That's definitely a big statement to start off the second half here for Black Dragons, putting them up by 4 now. Ava team just seemingly not ready to react quickly enough in that situation here. Their defenses were not set up as they needed to, and you can see already they add that additional player on the A-bomb site hold because of what happened in that opening round, just to see if they push from the start. But they're going in once again, already attacking this A-bomb site, but this time around not going quiet as well. Rambo and Kukon open it up for Ava team, but it still doesn't matter. ADRF finds 2 picks of his own, and they still have an entrance onto this A-bomb site. Now it's going to be all about the retake here, as we do see Bean and Kukon try and rotating in. But Maxim is a little bit out of position here so far to support just yet. Has to wait for these players to get into position. But right now, Black Dragons, they have full control of this A-bomb site. They have to be a bit careful about how they try and hold on here. But here we have it, though. Ava team letting things run a bit thin. But Maxim already finds one from the back of the Global Risk spawn. Notzin able to find one onto Kukon as well. But still, Black Dragons having some struggle here. It's all on Will once again. But Bean and Maxim, they step it up. And Ava team do find the round after all.
So they bring it back, and Ava team finally getting some solidity in terms of their ability to trade rounds out onto the table here. Of course, as you can see, we'll get the defuse without too much of an issue. And at the end of the day, Ava team will claim a 4th round, keeping them in the action at 4-7. Still a lot more work to do, though, before they can catch up to the Black Dragons.
Now it's the road to recovery here for Ava team. Still time to make it happen, but still Black Dragons, they've been dominant throughout this one so far. We'll see if ADRF can keep it up. He's been getting a lot of nice picks here alongside Will in the second half, but Ava team, they made the adjustments they needed to on that A-bomb site hold in that second round. If they can keep it up here, they may have a chance to bring it back on their own here and tie it up at 7 if they can get 3 in a row. We do see a pretty standard setup, though, once again. This time around, though, they give up mid-control, just having Kukon play it from a passive angle. Meanwhile, though, Black Dragons, they're already working for control of the B tunnels, and Ava team has to be ready to respond to this.
Black Dragons continue to push their way through those B tunnels. They've already approached the warehouse, ready to move themselves out into the site. But obviously with 2 of their other teammates separated from this push, I don't think we would see them follow through with the execute just yet. It's a little bit too early in the round to see that. A minute and a half. They are going to throw a little bit of pressure over here towards the A site. And actually, ADRF's going to push it on his own. That will not work, though. He goes down without too much of a fight. The rest of the team trying to push their way out on the B potentially here. And even that's not faring too well. They haven't been able to pressure any of the members of Ava team just yet. Bean will hold on the back site as well. Bean's going to continue to pick up frags. A second kill for him. The rotates are coming in as Will does find a trade, but it's short-lived. He immediately goes down. The end of the last one standing, and he'll be surrounded. So it's Ava team again to pick up a round.
A very awkward situation there for Black Dragons. They pre-fired the spot that Maxim was trying to get onto, but because he actually missed the double jump to get up there, they had an advantage for Ava team because they were pre-fired a spot he actually couldn't get to in time. So Ava team, the mistake of missing the jump actually pays off for them, and they come out with another round here to keep themselves in a great position, but Bean playing very well to hold things off in that round as well. And now it's just 2 rounds separating Ava team from bringing this one to a tie. After a slow start, they may have a chance to recover here. Meanwhile, Black Dragons not having the best of luck on their attacking side so far. The blacklist hasn't been too favorable for them. Danimal sitting at 0 frags. Vienna only with 1 himself as well, as they try and get mid-control here to start off the round.
Slow play once again from the Black Dragons. You see them completely held back up on their bridge and other areas that are going to be pretty far back on the map overall. They got the entryway towards A long secured, but that's not saying much, unfortunately, at this point in the game. With one other player postured up towards that A connector, too. No solid decision being made yet in terms of where they want to take it, but I think that's changing now. Since the B play hasn't been going too consistently for the Black Dragons, and we're going to finally throw all of their weight over towards the A site in hopes that they can do their executes one better. Rambo will be here to defend it with the AWM in hand. The first initial shot's going to be a miss. He'll be flashed out immediately afterwards. Tries to throw his own to the inside. It's actually a really great connection. Black Dragons are going to be held back for a couple of seconds as a result of that, but nonetheless, Danimal is able to get himself on top of the site and find himself an initial pick. Will is able to get the second ADRF with another one found as well. Black Dragons tear through the defense over on the A site, leaving only 2 players still standing for Ava now. It's down to Bean and Maxim. We'll have to try and come back into this, but in a 2v5, there's not going to be much room for it. The rotates have already been cut off. Bean low as well now. He does find one trade, but he's locked behind that silo in a 1v4.
Clearly no way out here for Bean. He'll go down to Knotson, and just like that, it's another one on the board for the Black Dragons here, who are slowly but surely closing in on victory here. Ava team, again, stuck on that 5th round, unable to find their 6th here, and now Black Dragons 2 away from finding themselves 1 step closer to that quarterfinals position here. Ava team, though, the runners up from 2017, about to potentially fall here if they can't find a way back into this quickly. Ava team, though, playing reserved once again. Black Dragons, though, eager to take map control quickly into their hands. They know what's at stake here, and they want to make sure they hold on to this lead.
So we've got the Black Dragons once again posturing up for a push to move in through the warehouse. This has been the area of the map that they've struggled the most to take control of so far on their blacklist side, though. So we will have to be careful, as Ava team have had a strong record of holding off quite convincingly against these pushes, especially the most recent time where Black Dragons couldn't really take out the national defenders that were sitting onto the site here. They've been found out, though, so Black Dragons going to be forced out a little bit early. They'll continue to push forward. Will find that first entry kill. There's an immediate trade. It's going to move in for Maxim. Will be able to get one more. Maxim trades it right back as both players are able to pick up double kills. Danimal is going to be able to follow up. Danimal, excuse me, is going to be able to show up and find himself one more frag as well to put it into a 3 versus 2 favor towards the Black Dragons as they now get themselves room to put the bomb on the ground.
Ava team in desperation mode here. They need this round to try and keep things alive for themselves. Rambo and BotCons have to make something big happen here and now, but Black Dragons, they've shut this down completely. Isolation smoke's already down as well. Danimal gets flashed, but he has to make the impact here. Ava team, though, unable to cancel that one. Danimal finds the double kill, and just like that, we are going to be on match point. Black Dragons 1 away from victory.
The Black Dragons seem to have found their edge here on this attacking side, on their blacklist side. Started off with a rush play towards the A site, catches Ava team off guard. You're really only going to be able to do that once, though. So they go back to the play where they've been struggling before, that consolidated push over towards the warehouse that Ava team was also struggling with on their half if we go back to when they were on the blacklist side as well. But still, Black Dragons finally able to jump out, and it's after they're actually discovered by an aggressive player from Ava team. They're forced out into the open, potentially not even ready for that execute, and still make it work. So good stuff from the Black Dragons. Only 1 more away now from closing out of the map and knocking Ava team out of the tournament.
And this is it. The Black Dragons have everything that they could have hoped for here. Ava team once again struggling under the pressure. The reigning runners-up about to fall here just in the group stage as our second team eliminated here. They need 4 rounds of perfection to try and take this one into overtime, but Black Dragons seem very eager to bring this one to a close as quickly as possible. The confidence they have has shown through. Will once again leading the charge here. Can't find the frag, but Notson takes down the first. Kukan able to trade this one out. It's down to a 4-on-4. Notson gets taken out from the pit position from Maxim, but the trades come through. Danimal gets 2 before going down, but it's all on Vienna and the 1v2. Rambo and Botcons, the last hope for Ava team to hold on and take this to another round here. Vienna, though, sneaks to the cross position. Can't find the shots, though, and Botcons and Rambo hold on for yet another round for Ava team.
A little bit too aggressive as he's forced out into the open and ends up in a 1v2 right down the main lane leading over towards the GR spawn. So that will hand the round over to Ava team. Put their 6th up on the board as you just saw. And keep this one close. 3 more in a row that are still needed for Ava team to bring this back under their control and send us into overtime.
Now Ava team starting to feel that pressure, but when their backs were against the wall last year, they were able to recover and make some miracles happen. But right now, they're going to need quite a few of those miracles to move on to the next round. 3 perfect rounds. On top of that, they would have to win it in overtime as well to even make it with a chance out of this group stage here. Right now, though, Ava team, we'll see if they can make that a reality here. Black Dragons, though, still looking pretty confident here as they group up for this A execution. Ava team, they've got to hold this off. Rambo, only 1 kill in the half, has to step up to the plate here and now. Otherwise, this could spell the end for Ava team at CFS 2018. Black Dragons, though, works their way in. ADRF and Danimal clear the site. Vienna finds 1 more. It's all on Bean, the 1v2, do or die. Black Dragons looking to close it out. Ava team, tournament life on the line. It's all on the shoulders of Bean here. The last hope for the Vietnamese squad of Ava team to try and pull through and make another round for themselves. But so far, it's looked like Black Dragons may have what it takes to close it out. Still no plant going down just yet either. They don't want to be caught without any trades going down. But Bean, he needs to make something happen here and now. 35 seconds to grab both kills and the defuse here. But Black Dragons, they spotted him already. Vienna wants to go for the peak, but Bean, he's playing this one patiently. 25 seconds, though, to get through and grab this defuse. He has to move quickly. Danimal already spots him on the corner, takes him down. Black Dragons, they'll eliminate Ava team, the former runners-up. No chance at that this time around, though. Black Dragons will be moving on, and the next team going home is Ava team.
And so Brazil holds strong at CFS as both of their teams will be able to survive at least until the edge of the groups. As far as the Vietnamese teams are concerned, though, we've now knocked one out as we are going to be seeing Ava team go home in this first lower bracket matchup of their group.
It's a little bit sad, isn't it? The team who came in 2nd place in 2016 comes 2nd at the wrong end of the scoreboard, unfortunately, when it comes to 2018. And with that, Ava team is out, and as you said, Black Dragons progressing through to a game up against Execration, a game that I think both those teams are capable of winning. And we spoke about a little bit earlier that for us, maybe it was Danimals who struggled yesterday. Today, Kyle, it was an entirely different story. Danimals really playing very, very well and one of the standouts for his team.
Yeah, definitely Danimal stepped up today, but on top of that, I think it came down to that first half from Notson and Will, just both playing phenomenally across the board. And I think, honestly, if we're looking ahead to the potential MVP, I'd say, honestly, Will was probably the standout to me on both halves across the board.
What about you, Blue?
No, I would have to agree with that. Will did a phenomenal job, especially coming out of the clutch situations a lot of the times as well. Overall, Black Dragons did a fantastic job, especially on their global risk side, really just not giving Ava team any room to work with any types of takes at all.
Yeah, it kind of felt like maybe the team from Vietnam left it a little bit late. They started coming back towards the end, but really, they did struggle in the first half, and we've seen you can't afford to let your opponent get so far ahead, particularly now when these games are going to be so much closer.
Yeah, definitely, and it came down to, at the end of the day, Ava team started both of their games a little bit too late to recover them, and for that, they will pay the price and be the second team out here.
It's very surprising for me personally. Obviously, I thought that they would win this game, but more so, coming into this tournament, it's hard to envisage, Blue, that the team who was the runner-up in 2017 is now gone, and we're only halfway through day number 2.
Yeah, I mean, this tournament's been a tournament of surprises so far, right? We've had quite a few upsets already, and this one, while maybe not necessarily being worthy of being called an upset considering the results from yesterday, still is a very exciting result as we've got Black Dragons back as well. They're a very exciting team. We know they can take down some of the Chinese teams, maybe or maybe not necessarily in a best-of-3 setting, but they have that reputation about them. And if they're going to be able to push through, take down Execration as well, and make it out of the group, that can make for a really interesting storyline going into the quarterfinals.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we take a look at this Black Dragons lineup, we know that they went up against All Gamers yesterday, and the reality is that was a very difficult game. That was an exceptionally difficult opponent. See them go up against Ava team here. They play very well. They get a great score, and now they have a little bit of momentum built into the next game as well, going up against the team from the Philippines. Do you have an inkling of how you think that game's going to go, Kyle?
I'd say looking ahead, I actually think Black Dragons has the advantage going into that one.
Yeah.
They've only really lost to arguably the best team here right now in AEG, whereas Execration, I think they've had a lot more fluctuation in their performance, whereas Black Dragons, they showed a lot of confidence here that I wasn't necessarily expecting from them. If they play like they did here, I think Execration's going to have a really rough time.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough one for sure as we take a look at our MVP on the screen there. Will, as you guys said, coming through strong, a great KDR, of course, and well, seems to me like everyone from Black Dragon is on form right now, which is crucial considering that this afternoon they still have that other game to play up against Execration. Kyle is suggesting that maybe it's going to be Black Dragons coming out on top. What's your thought about that one, Blue? Because I don't think we're going to see you guys cast that one, so I'll give you a chance now.
Yeah, no, I think given the performance we just saw there compared to what we've seen from Execration, I'm going to say it's Black Dragons that come out of the group.
They're looking very good, looking very good. I'm going to wait and see what Ian and Jordan say a little bit later, and then you come back from there. But for me, Black Dragon's definitely looking like the team to beat at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they've got a lot going right for them. Execration, I think they had a really good one-off in their first match, but we haven't seen too much from them other than that. So I think it's going to be coming down to, in that match, who adapts a little bit faster, who has that momentous start. Because I think Black Dragons, if they're a team that gets out in front early, they don't let that slip.
Well, we do have one more lower bracket round one game to come up. That's going to be coming up next. It's Penta up against Pacific Warrior. It's really hard to go past Penta in this situation, but we're going to take a very quick break. And when we come back, all of the Crossfire action. We'll see you soon.